Okay, so n is 4 because it says it's going to be compounded quarterly, and there's 4 quarters in a year. Okay, so the other thing we have to do is we have PRN, now we have to do T. How many years is this going to take place? Well, it's going to take place for 2 years. Okay, so we're going to take our information, we're going to fill it in. So we have 1,000, open parentheses, 1 plus, R is 0.08, over N, which is 4, close parentheses, and then we say N, whoopsie, and we say 4 times 2, because N is 4 and T is 2. Now I'm going to rewrite that. A equals 1,000, open parentheses, 1 plus 0.08 over 4 to the 8th power. Now, what I would do is I would make sure that I just put this in the calculator just like that. I wouldn't try to figure out what this is and then times it by 8 and then multiply by 1,000. I'd actually put it in as one full problem here, or one full equation. So I'm going to type in 1,000, open parentheses, 1 plus. Now remember, we have to open parentheses again because we have a fraction. And when you have a fraction, you have to make sure your fraction is in parentheses by itself. Okay, so we have 0.08 divided by 4, close parentheses. Now we have 2 open parentheses. We must add another closed parentheses before we say to the 8th power. And we would get A equals $1,171.66. Okay, and so that answer would be B. All right, number 14. Biology. If y equals 10 times 2.5 to the t represents the number of bacteria in a culture at time t, how many will there be at time t equals 6? Okay, so they're telling me that t represents time, but they're also saying that in the equation y equals 10, 2.5 to the t, that t equals 6. We're just going to plug that in. We're going to plug in 6 to the, we're going to plug into the 6th power. So 10 times 2.5 to the 6th power. And we're going to put it in our calculator just like that. So we're going to have 10, open parentheses, 2.5, close, to the 6th power. And we get 2,441.4, but it says about how many, so the answer would be F. So Y, it's going to round it. Okay, but we're going to round it right here to match that. All right, let's go on to number 15. Okay, number 15 says, a $6,000 piece of machinery depreciates in value at a rate of 11% per year. About what will its value be in 5 years? Okay, so we automatically look at depreciation, okay, and we know that depreciation is going to be an exponential decay. So get out your cheat sheet here. We're going to look up exponential decay, and this is the equation that we are going to use, okay, because we're talking about depreciation, all right? So we have number 15. We're going to use the formula y equals A, open parentheses, 1 minus R to the T. Okay, now we're going to fill everything in. Now A is your initial investment, which is going to be $60,000. R is your rate. Okay, so we had 60,000. Our rate is 11%, but you must take your percent and change it into a decimal, which is 0.11. And you have T in time, and it's asking in 5 years. Okay, so what do? You fill in the equation. Y equals 60,000, open parentheses, 1 minus 0.11 to the 5th, and we put that into the equation. So we say, let's clear that out, 60,000, open parentheses, 1 minus 0.11 to the 5th. Okay, so we have I'll leave it right there so you can see it. We have $33,504.36. So which of these answers or matches those answers the best? And it was going to be C. Number 16. Which is the equation for the nth term in this geometric sequence? Okay, so number 16, we've got to look at a few things that it's telling us already. Well, number one, so let me move that paper here. Number one, it's saying, hey, it's a geometric sequence. And a geometric sequence tells me I'm going to have an R, which is a common ratio. Okay? It's asking me for the nth term. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my cheat sheet. I'm going to go to the page that says sequence on it. Okay? I'm going to go to geometric. R is a common ratio. And here's the equation that we are going to use. So we have AN equals A1 RN minus 1. Okay? And it gave us the sequence of -2, 8, and -32. And so what it's asking is, what is the equation for the nth term? So we're creating the nth term equation. All right? So to find a common ratio, you have to take this number and divide it by that number. Okay? So we have 8 over -2, and then we're going to have -32 over 8. All right. 8 divided by -2 gives us a -4. And then we have -32 divided by 8. That also gives us -4. So we know that R equals -4. Okay? Now, we are going to fill in this equation. So we have A to the N equals, A1 stands for our first term in the sequence. Well, our first term in the sequence is right here. It's a -2. So we have a -2. Now we're going to multiply it by our R, which is our common ratio, which we figured out was -4. And then we leave in -1. So if you look at your answer document, that matches J. Okay? So the answer here is going to be J. Number 17. What is the ninth term in the geometric sequence 3, 9, 27? Okay. So let's write down what we need to know. Number 17. We know that we have to find the ninth term. Okay. We know it's a geometric sequence. And we know that the sequence is 3, 9, 27, and it goes on and on. But it told us to find the ninth term. Well, I can't do that until I figure out, first, what is the nth term equation, and what is my R, my common ratio. Okay, so how do we find common ratio? Well, we're going to take the number, we're going to take the second term and divide it by the first term. Okay, and then we'll take this term and we'll divide it by that term. All right, so here we go. 9 divided by 3. 3 goes into 9 3 times. And 27 divided by 9. 9 goes into 27 3 times. So R equals 3. All right. So now we're going to use the equation AN equals A1 RN minus 1. All right. So we have, I'm going to fill it in this way. I don't know if I'm going to have enough room on this page. Actually, I'll just keep going. Okay, so we have A to the N equals, well, what was the first term? The first term was 3, correct? So the A1, I'll highlight it so we see it. A1 is 3 times our ratio is 3, and we have N minus 1. So now we have our equation. Now we're going to look for the ninth term in that equation, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to say A, because now N equals 9. So we're going to fill in a 9 everywhere there's an n. So A9 equals 3. 3. Now there's an n there, so we're going to put a 9 in there. 9 minus 1. So A9 equals 3. And we know this is 3 to the 8th power because 9 minus 1 is 8. A9 equals, so we're going to put in the equation 3 times 3 to the 8th power. And we get 19,683. So the ninth term in the sequence is 19,683, which is answer C. Okay. Number 18. Find the third term of the sequence in which A1 equals 12 and A to the n equals 5an minus 1 minus 14 if n is greater than or equal to 2. All right. Well, since they gave us a recursive formula, because this is in the form of recursive formula, since they gave us a recursive formula, we actually have to figure out each term because the recursive formula depends on the term in front of it, okay? So let's look at number 18 here. So we know that A1 equals 12, and then our formula is AN equals 5, AN minus 1 minus 14. And n is greater than or equal to 2. Okay? We also know that it's asking us for the third term. Well, I know that A1 is 12. I have to figure out A2 and A3, and this is the answer that they're wanting. Okay? So we have to use this formula each time. So let's fill in A1 equals 5. And if you have, A2, for n is greater than or equal to 2. So we have A 2 minus 1 minus 14. And then you have 5. 2 minus 1 is 1. So we have times A1, 14. So 5, what's the value of A1 is 12. So 5 times 12 minus 14. So the value of A2 is, the value of A2, you have 5 times 12 minus 14 is 46, okay? So A2 is 46. All right. Now let's find A3. So I'm going to say A3 equals 5 times A, 3 minus 1 minus 14. 5, and that's A2 minus 14. The value of A2 is 46, so let's fill that in. 5 times 46 minus 14. So we have, let's clear that out. We have 5 times 46 minus 14, and you have A3 equals 216. So that is the actual answer, and that matches up with H, 216. Okay. Find an explicit, number 19, find an explicit formula for A1 equals 17, and then AN equals AN minus 1 plus 4, where n is greater than or equal to 2. Okay? So, we're going to take a recursive formula, and we're going to change it into an explicit formula. So, what you would do is you need to look on your cheat sheet under explicit formula. And we need to figure out, are we dealing with arithmetic or geometric? Well, let's write this out first. So number 19 is A1 equals 17, comma, AN equals AN minus 1 plus 4, and n is greater than or equal to 2. Okay, so the first thing we have to do, as you look at explicit formula, it says first you have to determine which type of sequence. Are you dealing with arithmetic or geometric? Do you have a common D? Do you have something added or subtracted? Or do you have the common ratio? Then we're going to write the nth term equation right here, the arithmetic or geometric, whichever one matches it. And then we're going to fill it in and solve it, okay? So we can tell that this one is an arithmetic sequence because it is a plus 4, which is a geometric, which is the common difference, all right? So the first step we figured out, it was arithmetic, so we're going to use the arithmetic nth term equation, which is a1 plus n minus 1 times d. And then we're going to fill in, well, what's our n? Our n is this positive 4, okay? Our first term is 17. So a1, here I'll highlight here to show you. Okay, so we're going to fill in a 17 plus n minus 1. Oh, and then look, I have 4 already highlighted, and that's our d. So we're going to put in a 4 right here. Now what we're going to do is we are going to distribute the term on the outside to the term on the to each term on the inside. So we have 17 plus 4n minus 4. So now we're going to combine 17 and negative 4. So we have an equals 4n plus, and then 17 minus 4 is 13. So your equation is a to the an equals 4n plus 13, which is the same as a. Okay, let's do one more, and then I'll stop the video and I'll do the rest of the problems on another video. Okay, so let's do number 20 here, or the fourth part, I guess. We'll finish up part 3 right now. Number 20 says, find a recursive formula for the arithmetic sequence of this. So that already told us that we're going to use an arithmetic sequence. They want us to find the recursive formula. It's giving us all the information we need. So what we're going to do is you're going to go to your cheat sheet, and we're going to look up recursive formula. Okay, so that's the page right before explicit. Recursive formula says determine the type. Is it arithmetic or geometric? Well, it said it was arithmetic, okay? So with arithmetic, we're going to use this equation. So we have, first let's write down our sequence. We have 18, 12, 6, 2. Okay? an equals an minus 1 plus d. Okay, so we need to figure out what is our d. What is this d right here? Okay, that's the common difference. Well, if you go from 18 to 12, it's negative 6. If you go to 12 to 6, it's minus 6. And 6 to 2, did I write that down correctly? Arithmetic, 1 second here. All right, well that one does not fit in with the arithmetic. I think this one, actually you need to change this one to 0. Let's see if that, because that will take us to minus 6. I think there is a mistake in the answer. So let's go through and see if making that a 0, if this makes this correct. Okay, so we would say that the equation is an equals an minus 1 minus 6. So to make it a recursive formula, we would say that the first term is 18. The equation is an equals a minus 1 minus 6, comma, if n is greater than or equal to 2. So let's look at our answers on number 20. And do we have an equation that matches that? Yes, it is G. So that is the mistake on this, is that needed to be a 0 right there, okay?